Welcome to the apex of sports ownership, the Apex Athletic Collective.
Welcome in, everyone, to episode 97 of Instigate Success, building an ABA franchise, the official podcast of your Hoosier State Instigators. I'm your host, as always, Jake Schoen, aka Jakey Muffins, here with the original host, Frosty. How are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm living the dream. How you doing today?
Doing great. Crazy, we're on episode 97, only three more
Nuts.
to 100.
Yeah, who'd have thought we'd have gotten this far?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely crazy. That's almost what two full years of episodes at this
Yeah,
point.
just about. That's crazy. So it's been a wild ride. We're gearing up for our third season with the Instigators, along with some other projects we got going on. So it's been fun, but there's the best is yet to come in this podcast and with Apex.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we had some Instigators events this past week, so I figure we might as well start with that. On Saturday, July 12th, we had tryouts in Indy. Obviously, I didn't make it. I still haven't made it out to any of the tryouts, unfortunately. But I think you were there on site.
I was. We had a great time. Had some quality guys show up. I think we found a couple guys, maybe. I'm thinking like two guys that fit really well that hopefully we'll be able to announce. One I'm really excited about is a little bit of, I don't want to say names, okay, because we haven't until the ink's dry.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit of a local celebrity. He played in another high profile alternative basketball league. So, I'll let wheels spin from there. But if he signs with the team, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about with him because he's had, in some of his other jobs and stuff, he's had quite some experiences. So I'm excited to introduce him to Instigation Nation if he signs. But him and one other guy really balled out. We have a couple guys we're inviting to the final tryout for the Instigators, which I believe will be. Let me pull up my calendar. I'll just tell you right now when it is, and then people will be ready. I'm just going to break news, Jake. I don't care.
Yeah, breaking news.
The August 16th at 1:00 will be our final tryout. And then shortly after that, by the end of August, we'll be able to announce our full roster and unveil that. Along with, hopefully, we'll be able to unveil our new website, which is coming along, instigatorsbasketball.com. So some big stuff coming up. But it was a great time. We had a couple of the players join just to help run guys through drills and stuff. And it went really well. We had Captain America there. We had Greg there from last year. And so it was fun to have those guys out there balling with some of these new guys. We did it in a different location than we've done in the past, a brand new location. We partnered with the Harrison Center on the kind of west central side of Indianapolis. I would say it's a really small community center with a gym that's, not regulation size, but big enough to hold tryouts and stuff. So we went there and partnered with them, and it went really well. And they were a great host. And so now, 2 out of the 3 down, 1 to go, and then we'll have a team.
Yeah, I want to make it out to one of these tryouts one of these days, but it's always cool to see the guys show up and show out for that. That's how we build our team. The vast majority of the guys we've signed are from tryouts.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And so I'm excited to see the stars that come out August 16th. Make sure that you show up if you want to be an Instigator, because this will be the last chance to join the 25-26 roster. And so we need folks there now signing up. So we'll see you there soon. But you got to come out. You missed it.
I know.
I hit like 4 out of 10 threes before the tryout. I was balling out. You missed it. Coach Julio will vouch for it, or he's a liar if he doesn't. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's crazy. 40%. I don't know. I think if I shot, I might make 1 out of the 10.
Yeah, that's usually where I am. I was like, for me, on fire.
Yeah.
So that happens sometimes. Once in a lifetime. But I'm gearing up. I'm gonna get back in shape a little bit. Maybe Jackie Moon one of these games. And go for it.
Yeah, we'll have to do, you, me, and Spacely do like a 1-on-1 21 tournament and see.
Hell yeah.
See who earns the roster spot.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going to put any schmuck on it, the team, not even us.
Yeah.
You got to prove yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's gonna be fun. Hopefully, in the near future we'll start announcing some of those players, and then we just got a few more months until the season kicks off too.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's coming up so fast. Our season's going to open November 1st in St. Louis. We'll have a full roster, or I mean, a full schedule announced in the next week or two. We got just a couple more games to fill out, and then we got the whole schedule. But we're really excited for it. But yeah, November 1st is right around the corner.
Yeah, and I know you and I we've discussed this before, not to jump down that rabbit hole again, but this will be season 3. Both of us came from fan controlled football. It's crazy to think they had 2 seasons. We're going to be on our 3rd season. Once we take the court for season 3, we will officially have more seasons than fan controlled.
Yeah, surprises me. We for us, we weren't even sure if we were ever going to get a team out there, and then we did. And yeah, the support we've gotten from the community we're in, and the folks online that have been with us from day one, we appreciate them, and the folks that have been with us since yesterday, we appreciate them as well. And we're just going to continue to grow. We're going to have some opportunities to grow our brand and our name recognition as we go. So it's been fun, but it's crazy to believe this is going to be season 3.
Yeah, and just a reminder for all the fans, you can get your early bird season tickets for a limited time, $49.99. That's half price. So I mean, basically, that's if you go to 5 games, that pays for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. A great opportunity to do it. Make sure we want to sell out. The players love playing in front of fans. The ABA is unique. Best Choice Fieldhouse is even more unique in the fact that we are like right up. You're right up against the court, as we talked about last year. Can literally high five players as they run by scoring. Hopefully, our team, not their team. Don't encourage them. But it's a really great venue in Fishers. Fishers is up and coming as a sports center. Last year we had the Fuel. We had the um, Freight, as well as the Ignite, the Indy Ignite, the pro volleyball team, all joined Fishers. And then just across the street from Fishers in Noblesville, they just built the new arena for the Noblesville Boom, which is the G League team for the Pacers. So Hamilton County is the place to be. Instigators are a big part of that as well. A team that averaged almost 130 points a game last year is fun to watch. Make sure you get out there. $50 is a steal for season tickets.
Absolutely. And we have exclusive merch at the games. If you didn't come out to any of the games last season, we had some pretty cool t-shirts, some stickers and stuff like that you don't see online. So it's a fun experience. And like you said, you get those front court seats. You can make yourself the Spike Lee of the Instigators if
We
you
need
want to
one.
be. We really do. Yeah. You got to heckle the other team too.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
That's right. No, it's great. Our fan base has always traveled well. Our hope is to just continue to grow it as we grow as a franchise. So hopefully that happens this year with more season ticket holders.
Yeah, and Instigators related, we did have a fan vote this past week. So if you guys didn't see this over on the Patreon, we did launch a vote. Let me see. I think I've got the graphic pulled up. You got to choose one of 4 Instigators logos. So I went back into the files here and I pulled some of the old ones that we haven't used in a while. We've got the OG one that we use on just about everything. We got the
Yeah.
one with the white text as well. And then we haven't used these last 2 in a while. One with the state of Indiana with the basket on top. And then kind of like I feel like, I don't know what we necessarily call it, but like the block letters, kind of like a college feel
Yeah.
logo.
The varsity logo. That's what we call it.
Varsity logo, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So went back in the files. I thought those were 2 of our cooler alternative logos to choose. And this was open. This was a public vote. Most of our votes are exclusive to that fan voter tier. But we did partner with Brayton Laster and the 06 car for the IRP race next week, next Friday, a week from today. And we wanted to open that up not only to our fans, but to his fans as well. And it was pretty overwhelming which one won. Over 50% went with number 3.
Yeah. Which logo was your preference?
So I did go number 3, and I
Yeah.
will say I went with number 3 because this race is in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Brayton is from Indiana. It's just I think with this specific one, I feel like you got to have the state on there.
Yeah, and not to mention people will be watching nationwide, right? We'll be watching the ARCA race, and so Hoosier State. I think most people know what the Hoosier State is, but they don't. Not everybody, and that logo. That's actually the one I voted for as well. I've always liked that logo. Thought it was a cool logo. It may be a logo someday that we use on an alternative jersey or something, but I was glad to see it when I like the varsity logo a lot too, though. Both of
Mhm.
those are really cool. Shout out to Spacely made, I think both of those, or did you make one? You made one of these, right? Or did
No, I
Spacely make
think
one?
I think Spacely made both of
Well,
those.
shout out to Spacely, one of our founders who made both of those logos. And obviously, shout out to Z Designs who made the Instigators logo. We haven't talked about 2Z in a couple years, but he made the Instigators logo as kind of a joke of a league that didn't end up happening, which was a basketball league. And so we swooped up the logo and love it. It's iconic at this point for us. Our fans love it, the players love it. It's mean as hell. And I think the basketball hoop with the Indiana is a really cool logo. I can't wait to see it on the car next Friday.
Yeah, and we didn't know this at the time, but the choice for this logo is not only just for it to be on the car in the race. They're actually going to be making a diecast of this car. So once they launch that, we'll be sharing the info on that. But you can get yourself once that launches. I think it takes them like a year or so to make them. But a little
Yeah.
toy car with the Instigators logo on it.
How cool is
So
that?
that's crazy. I didn't even know that was going to happen until
Yeah.
after the fact. So
This is one of the things I love about this experience is like, when you look at like the NBA or other like huge leagues, right? They partner with other huge companies, right? But we get the opportunity as a local team to really work with like up and coming folks that are kind of on the same wavelength we are, same dream. And so you get cool surprises and rewards from that, like this diecast car all the time. That just like one is super cool for us and our fans, but is just like kind of heartwarming that we're it feels good to help
mhm.
someone who's trying to fight their way up just like we are. So it's cool. We love Brayton. We'll always be Brayton fans from here on out because of our opportunity to work with him. And hopefully he wins next week.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'll be cheering on the Pizza Man. If you don't know, that's his nickname.
Yeah.
He wears a pepperoni pizza helmet when he races. So it's an interesting side note, and I think this is his first like officially licensed diecast, as far as I'm aware
Wow.
of. I know he's had like custom diecasts made in the past, and he'll sell
Yeah.
those, but this one is going to be through Lionel, which makes like not only the ARCA but like the official NASCAR
The
diecasts
NASCAR
as well.
diecast. Yeah, that's really cool. Congratulations to him for getting that recognition. You know what I mean? They don't make everybody's car, and so I'm glad I'm glad they're making his. That's a huge shout out to him and the work his team's putting in. Again, they're a really small team with one car trying to make it happen, and they're making it happen. So shout out to them.
Yeah, and then so we had that vote ended on Sunday, and then we launched another vote this week, and it's live right now through Sunday at 5. And
I
let's
just voted in it.
Yeah, we just voted. I don't have the graphic on here, but I'll jump over and share the screen for the Patreon. That way we can see the live tally for the votes too. So let's jump and share that screen. So over here, I think I'm logged into your account,
That's all right.
but
Yeah,
yeah. So where are we putting the logo? So not only which logo, you guys chose the logo, so now you get to decide on where we put it. 4 options again. We've got the deck lid, so that's like your trunk area
yeah,
behind the numbers. Basically what it says right there. It's going to be
yeah,
behind the numbers, and that would be on both sides. The C pillar, again,
yeah,
that would also be on both sides. And then if you want to be smack dab right on the middle of the back bumper, that is also another option.
yeah,
And right now, if we take a look, it's pretty far ahead is that C pillar. We got the numbers just behind that, and then the back bumper with 1 vote. Um,
You didn't have to call me out like that.
Yeah.
I voted back bumper. I stand by my vote. If you haven't voted yet, you should vote back bumper, and I'll tell you why. Jake and I were talking this behind and backstage.
Mhm.
Is if this is the car that gets scanned into the NASCAR 25 game, a lot of folks play racing games from behind the car, which means they'd be staring at our logo the entire time, which is good for us. The C, I get the C pillar. That's kind of a cool one. The only thing that throws me off about that, I don't know about you, Jake, is the red stripe going through Indiana. I think it makes it a little harder to see there, but I don't know. What's your preference on this one?
So I did go with the C pillar.
Okay.
I was between. I'll be honest. Like, if I knew for sure this car was going to be in the video game, I think we talked about that. I would 100% go with the
Yeah.
back bumper because of that. I think the vast majority of people play from that third person perspective, and you're going to see the back bumper most of the time while you're playing. However, with this being a die-cast car, I think most of the time the 164, the smaller version of the car, is the one
Sure.
that gets mass produced. And the 164 is actually, I have one literally like right over here. I will grab it and
Let's see it.
show. So this, if you take a look at them, when they make these boxes, and I'm a JJ Yili fan, so of course it's a JJ Yili diecast. But
oh, I see. It's like a side profile of the car.
it is a side profile of the car.
Yeah.
So if you get the C pillar, you will be able to see the C pillar. I feel like a little bit better.
That's a good point.
But that's the reason I went with that. I think behind the numbers you'd also be able to see fairly well. So I was between
My
those
only problem
two.
with behind the numbers is if you get a flat tire, which happens in races, that gets ripped away first.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. The other point, and I think it might have been I think it might have been my mom actually that pointed this out. If it's behind the numbers and you've got side by side racing, it is much harder to see as far as a camera angle
That's a good point.
covering that. But the C pillar, most of the times, will have enough of an angle you can still see above the other car.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Well, and a lot of the cameras, particularly in NASCAR, a side view of the car. So that's a good point too. I'm sticking with the bumper though. I think you're wrong, but your points are logical.
Yeah.
Which is all.
Well, like I said, if it makes it in the game, neither one of us know that. I don't think anybody will know that until the game comes out. And I don't I don't know if it's just going to be. I'm pretty sure they'll go with the Daytona paint schemes like the first race, and then maybe they'll do DLCs along the lines. I just don't know how many of them they'll wind up doing.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, then it's a toss up. But if it does, I agree with you on that back bumper.
Yeah, I think it'll be good on the C pillar too. So I think that'll be good too. Once again, though, that's why we do this, right? Is like we want fans to choose. Obviously, if I'm the owner and I'm making the choice, it's going on the bumper, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And so it's going to go where the fans want it, which makes me happy. So I'll be happy with wherever they put it, but they should vote back bumper. You got till Sunday.
Yeah, you got till Sunday at 5. Then it'll get finalized. But this is another free vote for all of our fans, all of Brayton's fans, anybody that wants to vote. All you have to do is go over to the Apex Athletic Collective Patreon. You can go at that link right down there, patreon.com/Apex Athletic Collective, and you can go ahead and make your voice heard. And hopefully we get some pictures with the car too. Because I think both of us are planning on at being at the event next week.
Yeah, I took the day off. I live about 40 minutes from the track, I think. So I'll be there. I know you're flying in. We're gonna do some stuff for hand out some information about the Instigators while we're there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I've never been to a stock car race. This will be my first one. I've actually trying to think about it. Yeah, it'll be like my first professional race I've been to at all. I've not been to an IndyCar race either, so
wow.
I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. You'll have to show me the ropes.
Yeah, so this will be my first ARCA race that I can remember, and I think this may be my first truck race too.
Yeah.
So I've been to a good number of NASCAR races, but I've pretty much been. I try to go to the Xfinity, Busch Series races, and I've been to a few Cup races as well. But never seen the trucks. I'm excited to see that, and obviously, you and I both know Frankie Muniz rides the trucks, so got the celebrity in the field.
That's right.
but we'll have our own logo on a car. I've never had our logo on a car. I've had my face on a car, and that
Yeah.
didn't end well. So hopefully this ends better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm excited. You and I have talked about it before. I don't follow NASCAR closely, but I do follow the Truck Series, and so I'm interested to see those live. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Corey Haim is tearing it up though, so if you're betting, that's who you should bet to win,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
odds are he is. What do you think? Is this his last year in the Truck Series? What do you think?
I do think so. The issue with him, he's super talented. I mean, that's
Yeah,
he's gotten a few starts with 2311 in the
sure.
Cup Series,
Yeah, and their
which
reserve car,
is
right?
yeah, which is the Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin team. Um, and he's a great driver. It's just that pipeline is just kind of so backed up as far as Toyota and the talent that they have. There's
Yeah,
not a ton of open seats. So he may have to switch like manufacturer to find a seat
yeah.
at a higher level.
Yeah, it's interesting because I saw the comment a couple weeks ago when he raced in the NASCAR series, I think, or was it the Xfinity? Maybe it was the Xfinity, one of the two. But I think Michael Jordan made the point that they want to keep him if they can, because they
Mhm.
see how talented he is. But you're right. Like, who do you replace on that team? Because they're pretty talented all the way around.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's definitely it's a difficult question. And then the other issue is this is more of a legal issue with
Yeah,
NASCAR. They had the lawsuit with 2311 and Front Row Motorsports. Both of those teams are now going to compete as open teams, which means that they're not locked into the races anymore.
yeah,
Luckily, they don't have to worry too much about that because there's not enough teams that are applying for the races that they'll get knocked out.
yeah,
Actually, they did get knocked out of the Chicago street race. Corey
yeah.
Heim did get knocked out by
Yep,
Catherine Legg with BJ McLeod Motorsports, but
yeah.
that's not something they see very often. But those teams are open teams now, so technically that can happen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, there's at some point I imagine that NASCAR is going to try to replace those two charters with two other teams, and then it's really on. You know what I mean? Unless they get it resolved. Hopefully they get it resolved, but it could get really interesting. And that just came down this week, that
Mhm.
they're now open teams. So we don't know what that means yet. I mean, we know what it means, but we don't know how it'll impact the sport. But it's interesting. I think IndyCar is headed towards a similar fight. A lot of folks are unhappy with Penske and the way they're running the series, and so I think that will come to blows in the next couple of years as well. So we'll see, but it's interesting and it doesn't make it any easier. But we get to watch him Friday night. We get to watch the Truck Series. Even more importantly, we get to see our logo on the track, which I can't wait to see.
Yeah, yeah, and one of the cool things about ARCA as far as the series goes is pretty much anybody that wants to show up can show up as long as you can build your own car and have a driver pass the requirements to get on the
Yeah.
track. You can show up like I think I mentioned this before. Like a lot of these cars that they have and they run with his team, the '06 with Wayne Peterson, they're basically like recycled cars. So
Uh
like
huh.
previous cars that were raced in generations ago in other
Sure.
series, and they kind of find parts and put them together and then get out on track. And then obviously you got your powerhouse teams like Joe Gibbs does ARCA racing as well.
Yeah.
But it's a cool mix of all these different teams and talents coming together, and it'll be fun. This will be the shortest track I think I've seen. I think IRP is
Yeah.
like less than 3/4 of a mile. It'll
Uh
be
huh.
it'll be some tight racing, short track action.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be fun. It's a cool underdog story. So we'll be rooting them on for sure. While we transition from that, Jake, I'm going to give us our weekly, it's going to return,
Oh
Cricket
yeah,
Minute.
yep.
It's time for the Cricket Minute. Major League Cricket just wrapped up, Jake, last weekend with MI New York coming from behind to win the championship. It's a short series. It's one of the things I like about cricket. The tournament's only a month long. My team, the LA Knight Riders, were terrible. They need to gut the team and start over. But MI New York put it up. What was interesting is they played in 3 different locations. So they kind of did the traveling bit. They played in Oakland, then they played in Grand Prairie, then they played in Florida, and then they went back to Grand Prairie for the finals, where Grand Prairie hosts a lot of international leagues and stuff like that. And It was a lot of fun to see. Really good crowds, biggest crowds they've had. The most games they've done in a season was this year, and now we're on a break for about a month, and then minor league cricket will start up with my team, the Dallas Exforia Giants, who partnered with fan controlled entertainment to do fan controlled cricket for a game. And then also follow me on Threads, and Instagram. So just for that, they're my team. If a professional team follows you, you gotta. But we have seen minor league cricket is important. We have seen players. Matthew Trump played in minor league cricket. He and his brother both did the first year, and now they're playing in major league cricket. So there is a little bit of a pathway there, particularly for Americans. So I'm excited to see that league. But major league cricket, highest scoring season, longest season, most exciting season, biggest crowds. I think cricket's here to stay in some capacity in the United States. So that's your cricket minute, Jake. You're welcome.
Yeah. How did was it the Unicorns, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did they fare?
The Unicorns did really well. I think they lost in the quarterfinals. Let me make sure. They struggled second half of the season.
Okay.
I think their captain got hurt, and then their batting just didn't work. Yeah, they lost to MI New York by 2 wickets. They lost 131 to 132 when the 10th wicket fell. So they were 1 run behind when they lost. Crazy. But they what hurt them though is Harrison Ralph, who's I think their best bowler this year, had the most wickets throughout the tournament. Got injured in the game before the playoffs, and so he couldn't play in the playoffs. So that was pretty much it for them. They had a great season. They were fun to watch. There are rumors that Florida will get a team next year.
Okay. If they do, I mean, I'll make it out to an event. I'll have to follow it a little bit more so I can kind of understand it a little bit better. But I think it lasts a little bit longer than baseball, if I remember.
T20 cricket is about as long as baseball used to be before the pitch clock.
Okay.
So it's about 3.5 hours a match. But that's really good. I haven't watched it yet, this form, but there's a new form that's kind of growing a little bit called 100. And it's called hundreds, and it's 100 balls instead of 120. So it's even shorter than T20, which is 120 balls per side. So I might check that out. That'd be interesting. But T20 is about perfect. And it's so funny because they have a halftime where they take a long break. They also have strategic timeouts where guys just go and drink water for a little bit, and I think back in the day is when people drank tea all the time, but yeah, you'll have to check it out. There's rumors that Florida did a really good job hosting, and maybe there will be a team in Florida so that city, when they go back, has a host team. That's what was really cool this year compared to previous years, is that in Oakland, the San Francisco Unicorns had a huge following, right? And so it felt like a home game for the first time. When we were in Texas, it felt like the Texas Super Kings were the home team and had their fans cheering. So that stuff was cool. I'd love to see them expand to LA, where that team plays, and New York, and put a team in Florida so we get kind of that feel. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and you mentioned Oakland. We have the Oakland Ballers. We're a part of them. We got
shout out the Ballers
ownership. But there was some big news in recent times for them. I think it's over on their website. I'll pull it up. Yeah, so I think that went over. Maybe. There you go. It popped up.
Look at that.
So, yeah, some big news. They clinched the playoffs, and they were the first half title champions there.
Yeah, so most folks don't. I don't know if folks know. They do this in minor league baseball too. But if you win the first half season with the best record, in the league, then you automatically clinch a playoff spot halfway through the season, no matter what. The couple times we've checked in on the Ballers, folks have seen they have been on a hell of a run. And that run continued all the way through the first half, which comes right around the time of the All-Star break, a little sooner. They got it, so they're automatically in the playoffs. Half the season to go, don't have to worry about a thing. They'll be there at the end of the season. as we see, they won a really close game to pull it out. But yeah, I think they like this game was like their 13th or 14th straight win, something like that. So it's nuts how well they've been playing. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
30.
it
Look at
looks
that,
like
34 and
30,
11.
34 and 11. Yeah.
Remember we were looking, they were like what were they? They were like 6-6 at one time or something. They went
Yeah.
on a tear. So shout out the ballers. We're super happy for them. Just more success for Apex.
Yeah, that brings me to the question though. So if you win the first half champion and you're locked into the playoffs,
Yeah.
do you strategically rest your guys throughout the rest of the season?
That's a good question, because that's a long time. Um, and like you want to build confidence, but I have noticed in like the minor leagues in particular, teams will do really well in the first half and really poorly in the second half. And I think that might be one of the reasons why. I think it's a little different when you're a minor league team as opposed to an independent league team, right? Like obviously if you're in a minor league team and you're killing it, then you have really good players who should probably be playing in the next level, so they get promoted, right? Guys get demoted, but you don't have that in the Pioneer League, so that's something we need to. I think they pick back up next week is when the season restarts for them. So we should keep an eye on that to see if like the same guys are playing as often and if they're going for it or if they're kind of like resting on their laurels and trying to sneak into the playoffs. Maybe underrated. Maybe people forgot, halfway through the season they were the best team in the league, but man, to only be a second year team and be 34-11 in a really historically competitive league that's been around a long time, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely impressive. And I think anytime, it's different because it's the first half of the season, but like when you have that locked into the playoff atmosphere, it's always the rest versus rust
Yeah.
discussion. Um, but I don't know. I feel like you do kind of naturally rest your guys a little bit more than you typically would, but
Yeah.
I'm always a fan of, keeping the guys playing. Maybe, like give them an extra game off a week or something like that, rather than taking huge extended breaks.
No, I like that. Give them a rest a game earlier than you normally would, or pull that starter who, an inning earlier, things like that, or even like bring in a sixth starter maybe later in the season and give everybody an extra day or two off. Yeah, I could see that. But I'm with you. Like, you don't want your like hottest hitter or like the closer for the Ballers not pitching in the second half because he's been phenomenal, and then all of a sudden expect him to turn it on again when it matters. So you got to find a way to keep guys healthy, but also locked in.
And, we talk more baseball and baseball strategy on our other stream, which that'll be returning tomorrow. So join us tomorrow for the return of Amateur Night during the day.
Yeah,
And you can catch that here wherever you're catching this. Either whether that's on YouTube, Patreon, or Twitch.
yeah,
And we'll be back with Penguins baseball.
yeah. I'm really excited. We're the Penguins are actually halfway through the season. We're a couple games behind them, obviously. But the team has been really competitive. The games, in my opinion, have been super entertaining. I think we've seen a home run in every game that we've watched. It's not a walk fest. It's really, I think, really high quality baseball. Shout out to the Indiana Baseball League that runs this league and a bunch of others. And so I don't want to spoil things, but for this, not this game, but in a couple games that you may have seen on Facebook and things, um, the Penguins were the game of the week this week for the IBL against the Expos in a really tightly contested standings matchup. But again, trying to get to that top half of the playoffs or the table, as we talked about, top 7 teams automatically get in the playoffs. 8 and 9 play in a play-in game. Penguins won the play-in game last year and then lost the first round of the playoffs. They're hoping just to go straight to the playoffs this year. I think the teams looked good, and we got a good chance. So tomorrow at 1, Jake, what's your take on the Penguins baseball season so far?
Yeah, it's been an entertaining game so far. We've seen competitive games. Maybe not the outcomes that we want for the Penguins, but
Sure.
always I think it seems like the games they lose, it's 1 or 2 innings pretty much get away, and
Yeah.
then they're very close and the rest of the game other than that.
Yeah.
But it's it happens, and You
Yeah.
know, that's it's fun though. You know, you got the strategy we talked about last time with pitching. You know, whether to keep the guys in or not, and a lot of times that's the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that the Penguins have been talking about a lot, and we'll see if they decide to go with it or not, is to play more small ball, do more bunting, more stealing, things like that. To, the one thing we've seen, I think, is that they're really good at hitting singles and not much else. And so, how do you generate offense? Is one of the things they need to figure out. The pitching has been solid for the most part, I think. Although, man, Matt Myers that we watched pitch for the Bandits last or 2 weeks ago, man, was just phenomenal. I think that got the shutout. I think the Penguins only had 4 hits in the entire game, but it's been fun. But this is a good reminder. Amateur night, we want to expand. It's a show that we really like. We'd like to do it year round at some point. If you have amateur sports recorded, whatever, send it to us, and we'll live stream it. We'll commentate on it like we do the Instigators, like we do the Penguins, like we did the Gold Cup last year, and help your friends and family see each other playing on Twitch, on YouTube, on Patreon, wherever, and come have fun with us. I have a lot of fun doing it. I want to do more sports.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've done a teaser before that we'll probably be covering some other sports in the future. I don't know if it'll necessarily if it's going to be on this or not, but I think maybe roller derby was one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll see if we do it on here. If we do separate kind of watch and react, I don't know yet. I think it might be good for amateur night. That's kind of a good idea, honestly. It was really popular in the '80s. Obviously, it's on YouTube. I think we're going to pull that up and run through that. We've been in contact with a like men's flag football league that we may do. So we'll just see. But send us your stuff, man. We want to put it on here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the more fun shows that we've got. You know, it's a relaxed atmosphere, and we got some pretty cool camera angles we've seen this season. I think every game has had a different camera angle.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it'll become more consistent. But that's the joy of shooting it on a cell phone. You know what I mean? It's not the high quality camera we use professionally for the instigators. It wouldn't work for that, but who knows? Um, but I think it just kind of adds to the charm when the camera falls over or whatever, or a kid comes up and hits it like we had
Yeah.
game two. It's a lot of fun. So yeah,
Yeah, we also got to track the skies and see if there were any aliens
yeah.
last
I haven't
week
seen one
or
yet.
2 weeks.
Still time. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean that's better than, the we had that game with the Lions where the court was possessed or something. I don't know. There
Yeah, the
was
whole
there was
facility had to have been haunted.
yeah.
There's no other excuse for that. 2 cameras didn't work. Um, that's interesting, But it does, all of this does give me ideas of like what kinds of stuff can we do to make the instigators broadcast more entertaining. Obviously, it's really a 2-man show on site, and then obviously 2-man show on the broadcast, and so what kinds of things can we do to make that more exciting? And so hopefully we get some ideas for some of these roller derby. I'm sure will give us some ideas. Although we're not going to go to scripted outcomes, which this roller derby show that we're going to watch has. Not all roller derby does. So if you watch roller derby, don't think it's scripted, but this in particular does. But it'd be interesting to see how we can level up. Like the home run graphic is cool. Like finding small things like that that just add to the quality of the broadcast for a bunch of guys that are doing it, on their own, really.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Like if we got some, uh, kind of graphics or something that pop up slam dunks or something like that. I know when
Yeah,
Spacely was commentating, I think the airballs he'd say nothing but oxygen or something,
yeah, yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. It'd be great. We're gonna put out. Jake and I we're gonna have to work on this here in the next week or so, 2 weeks. But we need to start putting out volunteer opportunities. If you want to be a broadcaster for the Instigators, we're looking for folks to do that. We're looking for sideline reporters. We're looking for folks to help with end game operations. But if you think you got the personality, come on here and like broadcast the shows. Like join us. Jake and I are happy to hand over the stage to folks that are excited about doing it, like we are, and give them an opportunity to kind of build their resume and bust their chops talking about Instigators basketball. It's a lot of fun. We want to grow the community together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great opportunity, and you don't have to have experience. I mean, neither one of us have formal experience with any of this. It's literally something you learn on the fly, and we definitely don't mind showing you the ropes for anything. If you have that passion, we definitely want to help you and have you join.
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you have any news as far as the other broadcasts that we've been doing
Yeah,
with Dark Web Wrestling? It's an old picture, but it's the
yeah.
picture that I have on here.
Yeah, Dark Web Wrestling. We're about to hit episode 4, which is a big one. This is monthly. We do it on one Thursday a month, usually the third Thursday of the month. For those of you that haven't watched it, it's a RPG, like think Dungeons and Dragons, but pro wrestling, where guys play the people playing the wrestlers, and going through a show, but also living their lives and things. It's been really fun. We named our first number 1 contender for the title, and that's going to be Pure Garbage, or Pure Garbage. I'm sorry, one of our player characters that the fans really have enjoyed watching. He's going to be a number 1 contender to name the first ever Dark Web Wrestling Mega Champion, which is our top prize. We'll see who his opponent is, but there's some good storylines coming out. Some fan favorites already. And so we're excited to keep doing it. We plan on running the first season will be 12 episodes. And then we'll probably take a hiatus until we do, parts of season 2. I play the creative, which is the person that comes up with the matches and the storylines and takes characters through them. What's really fun about this is, one, I think the guys playing the wrestlers have gotten much better at like talking us through what the match looks like. That's a large part of the gameplay, right? Is they tell me what moves they attempt and then they roll them. And obviously in the game, the characters are supposed to be working together to like put on the best match possible, just like regular pro wrestlers. But obviously their roles determine how well they do that. And I think they've gotten really good and better at that storytelling, at the promo work. They're all like, I think they're all wrestling fans. They're all, to varying degrees RPG fans, but putting those two things together on camera live for the first time, I think, is something just to like refine your skills on. But what I think most people don't know, because we don't really talk about this on the broadcast, is that, pro wrestlers in real life, if Jake and I are wrestling each other, we know usually the outcome of the match before we go in there. These guys don't. I tell them when the match is about to be, when I've decided the match has gone long enough and it's time for it to be over, I tell them at that point who wins the match. And what's cool about that is they have moves to change that outcome if they'd like, or interrupt matches or interrupt promos, right? They can use momentum in the game, which is like the game currency, to do those things. And then I have to adjust on the fly and make it look like that was the plan the whole time, which makes it a lot of fun. But check it out. Our next episode is this coming Thursday. What is that? The 24th at 8 p.m. Dark Web Wrestling episode 4, where we name our next number 1 contender. But we got some interesting storylines. The one I'm really excited about right now doesn't involve any player characters yet, because you only have 3 wrestlers. You got to book a whole show. But there's this wrestler named Rage Rhodes. He's a biker, and he wanted to be at the tryout to get drafted. No one told him about it. He's angry. So he's like decided just to come out once a night as a free agent and destroy somebody in the crowd to prove he's tough. So the first episode, he beat up like this rich guy. The story setting for Dark Web Wrestling is that it's like an underground fight club that rich people bet on. That's kind of the story. And so he takes one of the rich guys out of the crowd, beats him up, and pins him. The next week, he does it to some woman in the crowd. But this third week, episode 3, he pulls this 80-year-old man out. And the 80-year-old man, and he's told if he wins this match, he's going to get assigned to a team. But the 80-year-old man actually gets a surprise roll up and pins Rage Rhodes in the match and wins. So we'll see the fallout of that. This big muscular guy losing to an 80-year-old man in a way that you can only do in pro wrestling. So a lot of fun storylines. We try to mix in kind of the comedy with some kind of serious, dark, style wrestling with good storytelling. So it's been a lot of fun. Jake, you're a character in there. We've talked about this. You're an NPC. You own a faction in there, the Muffin Maestros. as you know. So we'll have to have you on sometime to like play yourself. We can write the promos for you ahead of time. You can come on and do live promos, or even cut them in your like backyard in between matches or in between shows. And it'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's been great. The guys doing it are awesome. Our hope after the first season, or maybe even during the first season, is to continue to grow the roster so we have more and more player character wrestlers, and eventually launch Dark Web Wrestling as an actual wrestling promotion where fans vote on match outcomes and whether feuds start and continue. One thing that I've been promising to all the wrestlers, and maybe I'll regret this someday, but the lineage of the Mega Championship for the real, for when we create an actual promotion, will honor the legacy of Dark Web Wrestling's RPG. So it's high stakes for these guys because one of them will be could be a non-player character, but one of these guys could be the first ever Dark Web Wrestling champion for a promotion that actually exists, 4 or 5 years down the road.
Yeah, it's a fun project. I've got to get caught up on the episodes, but we have with the Apex, we knew like that was kind of one of the things our fans do want to see is this wrestling side of things. And it's
Yeah.
been discussion, not just with you, but with some of our core guys, Night J Wright, I know uh Peanut as well. He's a
Peanut.
huge wrestling fan, and hopefully one day, we get down the road and we can make this into a reality. I think that is, obviously we got the basketball with the Instigators, but I think that's one of those things that we have a following for that. Once we're able to launch something like that, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's win-win. It keeps particularly that only goes on Twitch. We try to keep this YouTube channel for the Instigators pretty much on par for Instigators focused or Instigators themed broadcasts, but it allows our Twitch to stay busy and have content that people like, but also let us like pulse check, if people like this. And I think first episode of Dark Web Wrestling, the one you're showing there, had some of our highest viewing numbers on Twitch, and still does. So clearly there's a little bit of an appetite for there. At least there was, unless I blow it as creative. So someday that's something we'd like to do. It's a dream. We don't know if it'll happen. I think we have some other projects lined up, IRL projects that'll probably go ahead of that because, one of the things they say is if you want to make $1 million in wrestling, the best way to do it is to spend $2 million. So it's something that we got to kind of ease into and find the right way to do it on a small independent scale, probably. So that's probably, 5-10 years out maybe. But, if this helps us gain interest and it helps bring people in and it helps us raise the money to do it even faster, then that'll be great. And if not, we're having a hell of a time talking about pro wrestling and telling cool stories.
Mhm. And honestly, actually, that brings us to the next week's episode of Instigate Success. I'm not sure if we'll have one or not. I think that's going to depend on kind of how things play out next week at the track. So let's see. I think I can pull the schedule up just so people can see what we'll be talking about. So I think it is going to be here. So we will both be at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, and we got a busy day next Friday. So I'm not sure if we'll be around for the 9 o'clock episode. Normal.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is out there. Maybe we'll try to shoot something out there, but no guarantees on that. But gates open at 1 o'clock there. Arca Menards practice starts things off, followed by qualifying. Then you got the trucks on track, practice and qualifying for that. Racing is on FS1, so if you're not able to make it out there, you can watch both of those races on Fox Sports 1. And ARCA is going to start at 5:30, and then tentatively for that truck race would be 8. It's going to depend on when the ARCA race ends. But we will be out there. I think we're going to be on site, hopefully handing some stuff out for the Instigators. And hopefully we get some cool interactions, get some more fans, build up that fan base, get some excitement. It's 40 minutes away from our venue, so hopefully we can transition some of those fans that have the shared basketball love, especially in the Hoosier State. I feel like everybody there that I've met, whether it's a race fan or anybody, they love basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited. Yeah, we got to be there probably 11:30 or so in the morning. And we'll be there all night. But we'll try to get something out, even if it's not a podcast. We can always try to get an Instagram live or something going from there, just to kind of check in. But yeah, this show probably will not happen that week, and then I'll be out the week after, Jake, because that's Gen Con, um, which is the largest board game convention in North America, held in Indianapolis as well. Roughly 100,000 people every year descend upon the city for the best 4 days in board gaming, to play board games, and I'm one of those, along with Ronan, one of our other owners. So we'll be doing that. So I won't be there that Friday night either. So I won't see you until August.
Yeah, so we'll be back. It'll be probably like episode 100 or so by the time we get back together.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not missing that
yeah, because it'll be we'll skip this next week, so that'll push back 98. Then it'll be 99, and then yeah, so only 3 more episodes until then.
Yeah,
But we'll have to do something special for that episode 100. Um, I think 50 we put together like a little clip show or something
yeah,
like that.
highlight package. Yeah,
Yeah, so we'll have to see, but definitely we'll have to plan something big for that one.
for sure. Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited for the race next week. I'm excited just for a lot of the stuff we have going. More Instigators news is about to start pouring out. I think folks will start to see that as we get close to the season. But also some other projects. So we'll see how that goes as well. But we're killing it again. Shout out to the Ballers, first half champions, going to the playoffs for the Pioneer League. Man, it's been a good week.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone is local or is gonna be up in the area for the race, definitely let us know. Like we would love to have people, show up and show out to that as well, cheer on Brayton. If we can somehow manage to get some pictures with the cars, hopefully we can arrange that for you as well. But we'll definitely have some instigators stuff out there as well. And it'll be a fun experience. Both of us are first times seeing these type of races, and first time, this is a short track. Short tracks are normally lots of fun. I think there's normally a lot of action at the short tracks,
For sure.
bumping and banging, so it'll be a cool experience.
Yeah, can't wait.
I think that's pretty much all I've got for this week. Is there anything else you had to cover?
Nothing official yet. Just want folks to know we're working behind the scenes on a lot of stuff. One of the things that we would love folks to help us get the word out, we're going to start marketing it pretty heavily. I'm sure Jake is planning to do that as sponsorships for this year. That's really what makes not only the Instigators go, but this channel go, the other stuff that we're working on go. And so it's something that is vital to our business practice. And so we hate that aspect of it, is like shilling for money, but also it's allowed us to build some really cool partnerships that we wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And so finding sponsors with the right people is super important. So if you know companies that are interested in growing their brand, particularly in Indiana, but honestly across the United States, with us, let us know, point them our way, and we'll continue to push. Our goal is to have 40 sponsors by the beginning of the season this year. So we're working towards that. And then, as we start to get those, we're about to announce a couple sponsors that we've already gotten. We'll start bringing the commercials back and all that cool stuff. I can't wait to see it, Jake. But man, we're barreling towards a new season, so let's get it done.
Yeah, no, I look forward to that. Hopefully we've got some more of those player commercials. I thought those were pretty cool. That was an idea that you brought up, to have kind of add the personal touch to the sponsorships and the relate the team back to it. But I love those.
I do too. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to shoot. It made a memorable experience, I think, for the company and for us. So hopefully we get to do more of those. Maybe even next Friday.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I think that's gonna be it for this week's episode. Again, we'll probably be off next week, but we'll try to do something as far as going live, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So be on the lookout for that. We'll definitely make some announcements. But until then, as always, be great and instigate.
See y'all later.